Some of you will probably laugh, especially those of you from the Midwest, but around here, that's a good deer. He's probably maybe 100 inches if I'm lucky. This deer was my first ever rifle buck. This was 2018. I was hunting out in this section. I'm trying to tell the story and not tell everybody where the fuck this was, but I was out in this area that has a couple of old logging roads and an old railroad cut. So I had tracked this deer. Well, it would have been a Thursday. I shot it Thanksgiving morning, 2018, which would have been a Thursday because Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday. So I started hunting this area maybe on a Monday. I found a bunch of tracks. There was one really good buck track in there, which was probably this deer. Kind of did some little pushes and stuff like that with Dad, and didn't see anything. But I was like, "There's enough deer sign in there that I should go back there." So I went back there. I went back there the next day, and I tracked him all day. And there was kind of like a triangle of like roads. There's like the railroad cut, and this logging road went this way. This other logging road went to the same area. I kind of was slowly figuring out what this deer was doing. He was chasing the does, but he was doing it in a circle. And he kind of crossed through the same area every day. Tuesday, I didn't hunt it, but on Wednesday, I hunted it with a friend of mine. And we were hunting, and we never saw anything, but in one of the sections of this loop, we could hear bucks fighting. We could literally, we could hear the antlers smashing together.
Awesome.
We couldn't tell what direction it was coming from, but we could just hear deer fighting. And we were like, what the hell's going on here? And so the next day I was like I say, I was slowly figuring out what this deer was doing, and he was doing a circle. And I was like, I think he passes through this section first thing in the morning. Because I've gone through here a couple times tracking him, and I know he crossed this road in daylight.
Right.
And so I went right to that spot. I was like, I'm not going to track him this time. I'm just going to go to this spot and either see him or get on his track like right behind him.
Right.
And so I'm like slowly walking up this not really a road, but a road that you can shoot on. It's a
trail.
Road. It's a trail.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at the tracks from last night. I look up and he's just standing there looking at me like 60 yards away.
Yeah.
This deer is just, and he's just staring me down. He's not moving a muscle. What he did was he walked out into the middle of the trail and then realized he messed up, and he's just staring at me, staying as still as possible.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know that I see him yet.
Yeah.
And so I see him, and I was totally not prepared. Like, it was kind of the same situation as that story I told earlier.
Yes.
Like, it happened super quick and super early in the hunt. I didn't walk very far away from my trap, and I flipped my safety off on my 308 that I was using, and I went to put my finger into the hole to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But I was wearing gloves at the time, so I went to put it in, and it wouldn't go in.
Fuck.
As fast as possible, I ripped that glove off, threw it on the ground, put the gun back up, and boom, I shot him. And I shot him right in the heart, and he ran maybe 50 yards and died. But
I never would have had that level of luck in my life.
oh yeah, it was lucky as hell. And come to find out, we think maybe because it was a really fresh wound, the bucks that we heard fighting the day before, was this buck was one of them because he had this damage on his
I was going
ear.
to say, his ear looks like it was ripped to shreds, so he's clearly been fighting.
And so I had the taxidermist do this, but he had this huge chunk that was ripped out of his ear.
Yeah.
When we found him.
Yeah.
And it was definitely from fighting because like the edges of it were all like bloody and stuff.
Yes, of
and
course.
It was definitely a fresh injury. So we think that one of the bucks fighting that we heard fighting was him.
Dude, I've never heard that in the wild. I've heard it on plenty of videos, hunting videos. The deer fighting out there. I think I'd be shaking.
He went 183 pounds, I think.
Holy shit.
And he was old as hell. He didn't have any teeth left in his head.
Oh, okay.
This was probably his last winter.
Yeah.
That he was gonna have. So it was the perfect time to shoot this deer. I love that story because I actually, unlike the one before, I actually took time and like I had this deer figured out. I didn't know how well I had him figured out. I wasn't expecting to walk right into the woods, and he was standing there staring at me.
Right.
I figured this deer out, and I shot him. That was one of the first times where the research
paid off.
Paid off.
Yeah.